Hello everyone. I hope I am live now. So, those who are watching me live, I think there is a lot of audience who is watching me live currently. Can you guys give me the confirmation? Am I properly audible, clearly visible or not? And then maybe after a few minutes, we will start our today's live agenda. I hope that you already have seen from the thumbnail as well as from the headline itself that today we will try to take the live in the live itself the resume of different people, and we'll try to discuss that from uh, the resume which they have shared to me, how they can improvise further. So we'll take it step by step. The only issue is that when I announced this thing, after that I got so many mails, and it's a bombardment of mails which I got on my email ID. So I can't review all of them, but I'll try to do a selective selection that first of all experience, then freshers, like that we will try to do. Okay, it's not fresh for freshers only. I think variety of people, like we will discuss the experienced one also, we will discuss the freshers also. Perfect. So I believe that this session will be very much helpful for everyone, uh, to help them understand. Doesn't matter that whether your resume will get reviewed or not. It doesn't matter. You will get an idea that where should I improvise on my resume. Okay. So this is the overall idea which you have to pick up from this session. So let me try to first of all share my screen, and then step by step we will move ahead. So just give me the confirmation whether my screen is properly visible or not. Uh, Hi Chalapathy. Hello ma'am. Hello Rishabh. Hi Chaitanya. No 92 IT as well, please. Okay, we will try to take care of that as well. Um, Hi Shobha. How is everyone? So I hope that you guys get an idea. If there is anyone who is not aware, I already have uploaded the another project of customer segmentation. So if there is anyone who is interested in order to understand the complete end-to-end pipeline of the projects, so please do join this membership. It's very affordable, right? So there are two projects until so far which I have done here. After that, another project is also about to come. Very, very interesting projects I am planning to launch in this year with respect to the complete end-to-end pipeline. So please check it out, this part as well. Apart from this, I am getting a lot many queries with respect to the DSA course. So for those who are not already aware, this week only we have started our this DSA for interview preparation course. So here, if you will be able to observe, 50 seats is the size and 34 already enrolled. There are people who are pinging me and mailing me regarding that, okay, now I want to join. Should I wait for the upcoming batch which you will launch, or should I join this batch itself? See, there is only 1 week which has already been passed, and the recordings are also available. Plus, if you get any doubt in in this week, whatever things have been passed, so you can ask me in the discussion part. I'll try to resolve your doubts with respect to whatever things I have covered up. Don't wait for the upcoming batch. I also don't know like whether and at what point of time I'll launch the next upcoming batch. I'm not sure about this. So the present thing is going on. Please make sure that you will utilize this opportunity rather than thinking about the future stuff. Okay. Let's move ahead. Now, the today's agenda, I hope everyone is aware. Today I have already announced regarding this part, and after that I got a lot many mails with respect to this resume review. So here you can see a lot many mails are there. Now what I will do is list is very huge, by the way. So what I will do is I'll try to go for a FIFO kind of a order. Okay, considering that, I'll make sure that uh, for example, for a fresher, if I already have picked up one resume and already been reviewed and given few points, so for that, maybe for future, if I get the again fresher, maybe I'll skip, so that you will get a variety of content in this particular session. Please do hit like, please do share these videos with each and everyone. I need your support. Again, I am saying, right? If you will show your support, definitely, again, we can do a part two as well for the same session. Because in this complete session, I won't be able to complete all the resume reviews. Maybe we can plan another part two with respect to the same thing, and I'll try to show you that what things you can improvise on top of this. Okay. So let's get started with the today's part. This is the very first, part which we have. The resumes of Manish Kumar Jha. I hope this resume is pretty much clear to everyone. So he has mentioned his email ID, contact number, GitHub link, and the LinkedIn. And I think all these things are clickable as well. That is good. Perfect. So here, next, if we will go, we can see his skill set. After that, he has mentioned about the projects. And for every project, he has tried to give some link as well. That is a good thing. That is a good thing. If you are giving a link to whatever things you have done in your project, whether application, study notion, image background remover, blog page. And then he has talked about the training and internship program, education, possibilities, positions of responsibilities. Huh. So basically, it seems that he's a fresher, right? So 2021 to 2025. Yes, he's a fresher. Now, if you will be able to see his resume, can you be able to find out some gap? Anyone who can let me know before I'll talk about my things. What do you think? There are a lot of things which he can improvise in his resume as a fresher. What do you think? What thing is missing? Let's say कि you are trying to you know apply for a product based company. What genuinely they are looking for? Anyone? Any idea? Who can tell me? So Prabhutva said one point project. Yes, this is one of the important part. That is true. See, whenever you are trying to write a project section, always make sure that you will write the projects in the bullet points. The way he has written the project's part, blog page. I built this project using React, and in the process, I picked up context API. It's a blog page where you can check out different blogs and easily filter them by tags, titles, and categories. Then in image background remover, he said this React based project empowers you to effortlessly remove the background from your images using the remove.bg API. Okay. Streamlining the background removal process, this application provides a user friendly interface for enhancing your images. So, here, if you will be able to observe, whenever you are writing a projects in your resume, always make sure you should write at least 2 to 3 bullet points with respect to the project part which you have done. Now, what those 3 points should include? First thing, what is that project all about, right? What you are doing in that project. For example, image background remover. Basically, he tries to remove the background from the images. Second thing, which technology you have used in order to do that task. For example, here he has used some APIs, right, in order to do that task. Third important thing which you have to mention is what is the gap you are trying to solve. Many people already have done maybe this kind of a similar task. So what is the thing? Like whatever work you have done, where it is impacting. This is the third important point which you have to mention. So there should be 3 critical points, and at least as a fresher, your CGPA, your projects, and your technical skill set plays a very important role whenever you are going for an interview, right? So you have to make sure that first of all, you need to improvise your project part. Then the skill section, you have mentioned C, Java, JavaScript, React, Git, HTML, CSS, Tailwind. Maybe you can just try to improvise this thing. For example, here you have mentioned about all the programming languages, C, Java, and JavaScript. Mention like a technical skill. In the technical skills also, we have a separate subheadings, right? So here you have mentioned everything in one go, about the language also, about the expertise which you have, Make it a separate heading and try to mention all of them. Or maybe there are not many things which might be you are missing here, right? For example, tools where you're working, right? Those things you can mention. Projects thing you have to improvise. Now coming towards the training and internship part, I think, see, always remember, whenever you are creating your project, whenever you are giving this kind of a resume to any kind of a company, always remember you are not going to that company, you are sending your picture to that company. So you have to write your strengths on the top, always make sure, and remaining things at the bottom will be fine. So here, if you will be able to observe, Suvidha Mahila Mandal NGO as a web developer intern, intern Shala, training of web development. You have mentioned the duration also. What things you have done in this particular internship, I won't be able to find out. Maybe you can try to create a subheadings for the maybe two, again, one or two bullet points with respect to what things as an internship you have done in these training programs. And if you feel that you have not done something great in these internships, try to mention at the below point. Otherwise, if you are if you are very confident that whatever things you're mentioning, that is, first of all, is in demand, and second thing, you have done a great job there, so please mention that, because interviewer will ask you these stuffs in an interview, right? How I will be able to get an idea that, okay, in an NGO, what thing as a web developer intern you have done? So make sure you will mention that thing. After that comes the education. You have mentioned there is no need to mention the 10th grade education per se. I think as a fresher, bachelor's thing and your 12th percentage is very much, up to the mark. There is no need to mention 10th one. After that, you have mentioned about positions and responsibilities. It is fine. So this is the overall idea. One page resume is good. You have taken one page. That is good. After that, you have mentioned about your profiles. That is also good. Let me just go to your GitHub profile. Yeah, it is looking also great. And you have made a lot of contributions also in the recent things. So this is good. This is good. So basically, this is the things which you have to improvise on top of this. I hope it makes sense. Shall we move ahead to the next resume? How should I highlight my transition from non-IT to IT? And whether to emphasize additional IT projects or include non-IT experience in my resume. I'll talk about that. I got a few mails with respect to this part also. This kind of resume also I got. When I will review that resume, I'll like look into it and I'll give the feedback. Um, if we have not done anything, something massive in the internship, shall I exaggerate in resume a little bit so that my profile looks great? Um, See, if you have a knowledge of whatever things you are mentioning in your resume, then though it is fine. Maybe you have not done in an internship, but maybe you have done by yourself in your own self projects in maybe your bachelor's itself. See, whatever things you're mentioning in your resume, always remember these things only will come up in your interview. So, if you have that knowledge, then you can mention. That's not an issue. But let's say if you don't have an idea also, and then you're mentioning that I had done in an internship, that will be a trouble for you. If they will ask you in depth regarding your internship part, which they can ask as a fresher, at that point of time you will struggle. I hope it makes sense to everyone, right? What to do for a career gap? I think when if you will be having a career gap, and that is also very huge, if you have a good reason, uh, obviously they will ask from you why career gap will happen. Especially for females, I think it's a common issue. They usually have a career gap because of their family things going on. So at that point of time, if you have a solid reason, if you have a good knowledge, if you will be able to create a good resume, I don't think nothing much will hamper. Okay, but let's say ki career gap is very huge, and now you want to enter again into your tech industry, maybe male or female. At that point of time, maybe you can try to go for some internship based job and then try to get there as a full time. You have to start from a scratch. That is the real trouble which you have to face. But I think job you will be able to get. If you have a skill set, you will be able to get a job. But usually what happened is, some people get an ego that, okay, I left my job with that much that much package, right? Now I have, let's say, 4 years of career gap. Now I want to start from that package itself. It might be the case you have to start from a lesser proportion of money, but if you get a start, I think again you will be able to get back to that particular package itself, right? Let's move ahead to the next important part, and that is the resume for of Himanshu. So he is a BCA graduate. I think he has not done his education as BTech. He's BCA. So he is having some professional experience also. If we can see from his resume, sorry, it's Swati. It's her resume, Swati D. And then Bangalore, India, pin code, phone number, email ID. After that, professional experience, VB.NET developer from Jan to March 2023. Then June to 2023 to August, again trainee as intern. Okay. Skills and abilities, then education, projects, and certificates. Okay. So, first of all, this template is also looking very weird to me. I think there is a need to change your template. The very first thing, it doesn't look very much impressive as a first look into the resume. Second thing, this kind of thing, Bangalore and then pin code, is not as such required. It would be better if you will try to take your name, and even this headline of this BCA graduate is again not required. It is not helping you to grab a good job. In fact, what you can do is try to, for example, here I can't even in your complete project seeing your LinkedIn profile, right? Your GitHub profile. Try to mention whatever projects you have mentioned here. Try to upload those projects in your GitHub and try to share your GitHub profile, LinkedIn profile, your phone number and email ID, just like the previous person resume. I hope you have seen. So if you will be able to observe, these four things are important rather than mentioning from where your location is currently, what is the pin code, all those things. Some people usually mention their address also. That's not required. What they will do with your addresses, right? So that is something which is, you are giving some extra information about yourself which they don't even need as of now, right? Maybe once you get hired they require your addresses, but not currently in your resume. It is usually uh, it's advisable to mention. It's not advisable, right? After that, if I'll come towards your professional experience, again the same thing you have done wrong here, which I think previously Manish has done. There is no as such bullet points I am looking into. Again, there is a paragraph with respect to your professional experience, what you have done, and with respect to your projects. This kind of paragraph, do you, can you imagine, like, does HR is having this much amount of time to read your paragraphs? You have to write a very, very important information, crucial information about your projects, 2 to 3 bullet points. And just now I have mentioned what those 3 bullet points contains, right? First thing, important thing is what you have done. Second thing, which skill set you have utilized to accomplish that. Third thing is that finally, what is the impact you have made by doing that project. This kind of things, if you will go, then it will look good. And even HR will also get to know that whatever skill set they required, actually you do have or not. And then you have not mentioned clearly about, for example, here you have mentioned about your education. Always make sure that two background, for example, if I have done my masters, so my masters and my bachelor's is enough. I don't need to mention my 12th grade and 10th grade further. If you have done your BCA, let's say, so your BCA thing, plus your 12th grade. For example, you have mentioned, again, Bangalore, there is no need to write, mention, okay, bachelor's of computer application, you have mentioned percentage, this is fine. Again, this is also fine, there is no need to mention this thing, you can avoid writing this thing. See, in one page, whatever be the important information we will be having in order to show our strengths, that is what we have to make sure that, that is what we our focus point should be. I think that is fine. Certifications, okay, it's good to have. If you change your template and if you have this much space, go ahead. If let's say you don't have, you can avoid writing the certifications as well. So this is the overall thing with respect to this resume, right? I hope if Swati is listening to me, she got that what things she need to improvise in her resume. Let's go ahead. uh, is it acceptable to use GitHub or LinkedIn emojis in a latex formatted resume? Emojis, though, I don't think it is acceptable. And even I don't, uh, you know, recommend also to use emojis. It would be better if you will just write the GitHub and LinkedIn itself. If you will be able to observe, a few months back, this creating impactful resume, if you will go to the very first video, how to create an impressive resume, here I have given the example of my own resume. You can go and check this video again, how with the help of overleaf I created the step by step. Again, I have conducted one more session 5 months ago with respect to the code part, because some people requested me that how can we write a code we don't know in an overleaf. Then I again came live 5 months ago to show that part as well. So you can refer this. Here I am referring my own code part itself, not the other people. I'm referring my own resume, and even I have attached the link of my resume also in this particular videos. And this is the third live which is going on with respect to resume part. I think these videos are very much helpful for each and everyone. After these videos, I got lot many messages that how these videos help them to get a job. So that's why I thought today let's go live and then try to check their resume again and give them the feedback. Let's move ahead with respect to the next resume, and let's take a next resume of Meet. Looking opportunities for DA role. Okay. This is something unique. Again, no need to mention this thing. Contact number is fine, email ID is fine, your GitHub ID is missing. Please try to mention that part. Okay, this is good. About me. Okay, then data analyst intern, remote, April to October. His resume is looking quite good as comparable to the resumes which I have seen so far. I think I have seen two resumes. His resume is looking great. Even the template which he has chosen is also looking very, very good. Like automatically, the headline is sticking to my eyes. Skill set. This is what I was talking about. That it would be great if you can mention like this: separate headings, tools, databases, machine learning. If you have a knowledge of deep learning, even you can say data science, and inside that you can mention all these things rather than specifically saying machine learning. Okay, then he has attached the link also. That's good. Very good. Credit card defaulters prediction, customer segmentation, Uber data analysis, HR data analysis, student performance, then education, and then the certifications. Okay, let's come to the feedback now. I think he's a fresher, right? 2022 pass out only. First thing is, it would be great if you can make your only one page resume. Don't extend it to two-page resume. Again, please try to understand HR doesn't have this much amount of time to check your 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. If possible, and I think this is possible in your resume, because you don't have that much huge experience that you can't compromise it in one page. Second important thing, this about me section, this is very big. Try to shorten it down. Maybe nowadays we have chat GPT, right? Try to take help from that. See how basically I can make it with respect to one to at max two sentences. That's it. You have mentioned so much about yourself in the about me section, and even no one will look into it. As a HR, if I'll go, I'll check out the experience and then I'll directly jump towards the projects. So if you really want to mention this about me section, just try to shorten it down a bit. Okay. Then this thing is not required. Apart, rather than mentioning this part, contact number, email ID, and then LinkedIn ID slash GitHub ID. That would be a great thing rather than mentioning this Mumbai, India, and pin code. This part you have to shorten it down. Coming towards your experience as a remote job, AI, A capital, I capital, artificial intelligence, right? I applied critical thinking skills to analyze and this, developed a higher level of proficiency, implemented this. Hands-on experience has equipped me to contribute valuable data-driven expertise to enhance business outcomes further. Now, what is the issue in this part? What you have mentioned. This is good that you have attached this part also. This is really great that you have mentioned the certificate also. Now, see again the 3 points which I have mentioned. What is missing here? If you're talking, let's say you are not talking about the gap or something, your project doesn't contain this kind of a thing, it would be great if you can mention in terms of numbers. For example, you have mentioned here to enhance business outcomes further. As comparable to this, if you can mention that with the help of this particular thing, I would be able to obtain the result or the accuracy from, let's say, 70% to 85%. Whatever be the thing, right? Numbers actually impacts us a lot, that okay, this much enhancement he has done from his work. If let's say in your project you don't have any as such gap to mention, you don't able to understand what should I mention in the third point, try to mention this part. Implementation should come to the second thing, and this development part should come as the first phase, right? Development first phase, implementation with respect to what things, domain knowledge you have used, second thing, third thing, numbers or impact or gap. This is how your approach should go. Okay, so certificate you have mentioned, that is a good thing. One more important thing is that whenever you guys are writing your as a, whether experienced person or whether you're writing as a project part, try to use some actionable words. What is the meaning of actionable words? For example, developed, implemented. This is an actionable word. Start your conversation of this bullet points from these actionable words. Okay, don't I have seen a lot many resumes, even the last resume also, what I have seen, even here also he have mentioned I applied. Don't use these words, I. This kind of things not looks good even in your introduction whenever you are writing your about section. For example, if you will go to my profile in the about section, I'm not saying it's a very much apt ideal case, but yeah, there's a lot more scope to improvise. But still, what I'm trying to convey here, I have not mentioned I am an enthusiastic public speaker and mentor to students. I have mentioned she is an. So always, either if you're talking about yourself in your, while you are giving the introduction in your resume or in your another profile, act as a third person. Or the great thing would be if you can mention the actionable words. For example, the way he started the second point, third point, this is good. Developed, implemented. This is a great way to start your bullet points rather than saying I applied critical thinking. Okay, I hope it makes sense. I hope you will be able to get my point. Now here he said a good thing, accuracy in terms of numbers. He said improved this thing, informed risk management strategies, achieved this by cleaning and processing a comprehensive data set, providing valuable insights for proactive credit management and business growth. This is good. The way he has written the things is actually good. So, if you will say comparable to the previous two resumes and this resume, I'll rate this resume maybe as 6 to 7, but those resumes are less than 5. Okay, so there is a lot more scope to improvise on those resumes. There is a very less scope to improvise here. One more important thing, you have as a fresher attached so many projects. Out of these projects, shortlist 2 to 3 projects. That's it. Don't extend it to 5, 6, 7 projects in your resume part. That will also decrease down your space. For example, you have mentioned about, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects. It would be great. You can limit it to three, right? Choose it. For example, credit card, customer segmentation, Uber data, HR data, student performance analysis. Check it out that which 3 projects you have implemented properly end to end, and you can explain it in a proper way. So try to reduce your things within one page. If you will make this 3 projects, and if you will just reduce this portion, right? And if you will just reduce this portion as well with those 3 points that I just talked about, developed, then implemented, then the gap with respect to the numbers you can mention. And even the sentences should be shortened down. This is a very big sentence. Don't write this much things in your sentences, right? Maximum 2 line sentences. So if you will do so, I think your resume will be good enough. Take the same template, it is looking very good to me. The only thing which you have to do is try to make it in one page, and it will be easily be done if you will follow the guidelines. I hope it is fine. Who is the one? Meet. I think he is in the chat. He has mentioned, right? Yeah, it's my resume, ma'am. I hope it is good to go. Shall we move to the next part? Perfect. Few questions people are also answering. That is good. Hobbies is not mandatory to write. Rishabh is saying it correctly, right? Think over it. See, whenever you are explaining something to someone, giving your resume, think over it that whatever things you are saying, does those things help the company to generate the revenue? What they want at the end of the day is a revenue from you. You are the resource for the company. So if you have a space in your resume, then mention these stuffs: addresses, hobbies, certifications also, I would say, right? Nowadays there is no as such value of a certification. Other than that, focus more on your project and experience portion part. Okay, everybody is having a certification nowadays. If you will ask from me 10, 20 years back, maybe there is a value of a certification, but nowadays there is no as such value, right? So focus mainly in your complete resume portion on the project part, on your experience part, how you can maintain it in a better way. Try to write a bullet points rather than having a paragraph. This is the key takeaway from this session. I think you have to understand. Okay. Akshay. Akshay Ithape. Again, this is not required your location. This way of writing your LinkedIn profile is not good. How many of you knows that you can customize your URL of LinkedIn? If anyone is not aware that we can customize the URL of a LinkedIn, please check out a video. You will be able to find out the videos where you will be able to get an idea how we can customize our URL. This number not look good, and even the way to represent this is not good. URL should not be there, right? You should have a LinkedIn, something like which Meet have mentioned, like that. Okay, so just check it out, that how we can customize our URL on LinkedIn. You will be able to easily get the YouTube video very easily. After that, improvise on that URL. Try to make your URL like Akshay Ithape. That is good. Or let's say that URL is already taken by someone. So write Ithape Akshay. Similarly, uh, for example, if you will go to my LinkedIn, you will be able to see Bhatia Priya. Because when I try to do this, customize my URL, Can you see this is there is an option public URL. So I can show you how you can customize. You go to this public profile and URL. If you will just edit this, you will be having option of edit your custom URL. That's where you can edit. So when I edited my profile of Priya dash Bhatia, it was taken by someone already. So what I have changed it to Bhatia Priya. So that was not taken by anybody. That's why now I have this URL. So if anybody don't know, this number should not be looking good at all. So try to avoid that by making a proper URL with your name. That is the very first thing which you're supposed to do. Second thing is that this kind of thing which you are doing here is not looking good. The way Meet has done, if you remember, LinkedIn underscore, there will be a underline which indicates that okay, there is a hyperlink attached, and that's where I will go to your profile. Similarly, here rather than mentioning your name, mention GitHub. Okay. Then again, summary is very big. Try to shorten it down if you really want to attach. Now, in the key skills, if you only observe this key skills, the structure is not correct, right? Alignment is very, very wrong. Even the way to mention this is also very, very wrong. Dot, then dot, then dot. The good way I already said is to tools, then data science part, then if you have some other things to explore, you can mention those things. I think in my resume also I have three things. Let me just check it out first. Yes, I have mentioned in my resume, so I can show you. In my resume, I have programming language, data science and miscellaneous technologies, then this big data, machine learning, and deep learning. With respect to whatever things I have done, I have mentioned about that. So this is how basically you can mention that headline, and then you can mention further that what things you know about that particular thing. Oh, you have mentioned key skills separately and technical skills separately. This is not the correct way. Try to make it in one go itself. There is no need to represent these two things separately, right? In the technical skills itself, try to mention this thing also inside that in a separate headline where you think it should fit in. Okay. After that, the experience. Now, here, if you will be able to see, you have mentioned collected, cleaned, and pre processed over 500 data sets, contributing to 20% improvement in data accuracy. Applied the methods to drive, spelling is wrong, derive, meaningful insights, derive, okay. Supported the development implementation of machine learning models. It doesn't like I'm not able to get the clarity with respect to what things you have done. Actually, you have mentioned over 500 data sets you have worked upon, but you have not talked about specifically what things you have worked, collected, cleaned, pre-processed. It's a part of a data science pipeline, right? So you can't mention this as a separate steps which you have done. Which kind of statistical methods you have applied, I'm not able to get that. You need to improvise on over these 3 points again in that flow. First thing, you need to mention about what things you have done. Second thing, what knowledge you have used in order to complete that task. Third thing, what is the gap you have filled here. This needs to be again improvised. There is no clarity as of now in these points. After that, education, postgraduate certification. Course modules. Rather than saying like this, you can mention that First of all, what is the cumulative? If let's say in your certification you have some grade or CGPA, mention that point. Second thing, you can mention relevant coursework. Inside that headline, with the comma separated thing, you can mention these things. Data science fundamentals 1 and 2 doesn't look good. Just mention data science fundamentals, comma, Python programming, comma, data cleaning and pre-processing EDA. There is not a need to write these things separately. Just mention EDA. Again, you have mentioned this thing. There is no need. See, try to avoid the redundancy as much as you can. For example, here you have mentioned about this, and then above point also you're mentioning the same thing. Remove this thing. Tools are fine, but which tools? There are so many tools we have with respect to this part also. Mention exact tools which you have covered up. For example, you can mention MS Excel, Power BI, Tableau, whatever tools you are very good at, mention directly those rather than saying a big word, data visualization tools. Okay. Same thing here also, same thing. Cumulative CGPA, first headline. Second headline should be relevant coursework. In that, you can mention these things. And this 1 and 2, try to avoid this writing. Don't write this kind of a thing. Okay. Additional information, interest, hobbies, languages. Okay. If space still permits you, mention, otherwise, you can avoid the writing these things as well. Okay. I think there is a lot more to improvise in your again resume. Very, as of now, less than 5 again out of 10 rating. Okay, let's move to the next resume. Maybe I'm looking for now some resume who is coming from non-technical to technical role. I think I have seen one mail where that person has written that I am coming from a non-technical to technical. Hmm. Let's see his resume. Vedika, her resume. Okay, perfect. If you will see, she has mentioned that I did my bachelor's in non-technical background, passed out in 2023. Okay, did data science certification. I'm not getting any interview calls. Okay, perfect. Let's see. 3-page resume. Again, not a good way. 3 pages not a good way. Try to make it 1 page or at max 2 page. But as I am looking into it, that you don't even have too much experience. So for you, a good way is to just create a 1 page resume itself. Okay. Now, what things again she can improvise? Phone number is there, email ID is there. Again, the way of writing LinkedIn is wrong. GitHub is not there. Location is not required. So many people were asking about the template, right? Template I have shared in my very first video. If you will go to this playlist, creating impactful resume, research paper and journal, you will be able to see in the very first video description, I have shared the template. Here, if you will be able to observe this kind of way of writing, but her URL is good, but her way of writing is not good. You should have a hyperlink attached. There are two advantages of that. One thing is it looks cleaner. Second thing is the hyperlink will help you to optimize your space part as well. Okay. Again, objective part, recent graduate. It is fine, but I think again it can be improvised and shortened down a bit. Technical skills, programming language, database, ML, web frameworks. This is good. This is good. Like this only you should mention. Separate headline. Now certifications she has mentioned in the very first go. This is not a good way. Again I am saying, see, when you if you were in the stage of 10 years back, certifications plays a very important role. But at this point of time, the certifications value is quite less as comparable to what projects you have done. So try to make your projects in the upfront, certifications in the lower ground. After that, if we'll talk about your projects, I think this is also a good way to mention the projects: client, business problem, solution, benefits, technology stack. This is a good way. This is a good way, definitely. But one thing again, what you can do is, if the solution that you are explaining is very big, again try to make it in a bullet points rather than writing it in a paragraph. Always try to write in a way that I will be able to, get your point very easily without spending too much amount of time. That is a real task which you have to perform, right? Again, 10th class is not required. 12th and BSc medical sociology is fine. If you have some grades which are very good, please do mention that. College internships, it is fine. Activities is also fine. This is not required. This is not required. Remove this information. This is not required. This is not required. So you can easily, you know, I think convert again your resume to one page just by reducing your objective. This space you will be able to reduce if you will just write it in the below line by hyperlinks. This is good. Certifications, if space is having space, you have, write it down, otherwise remove. Focus on projects, the way is correct, just bullet points you have to write. After that, educational qualification, remove this 10th grade, only these two things are fine. Then internships, if you feel everything is important as a intern, whatever task you have done, see, you are applying for a data analyst position, you are applying for a data science position. If you have done internship like that only, if you have done your work like that only, do mention that. But if you feel like that there is some work which doesn't include that kind of a task, you can remove that. Okay, activities, similar thing. This is not at all required in this page. Okay, so I hope it helps. Shall we move ahead to the next resume? Oh my god, people are still sending the resume. Don't worry, we will maybe take a part 2 of this particular live, and I'll again come live to, review all these resumes. But I am expecting a good support from your side with respect to doing this kind of task, right? Please do share these videos, please hit like button, right? And I thought of having that 10K subscribers in the last year itself, but I didn't reach to that point. I am expecting at least now, as soon as possible, we will be able to capture that particular goal, right? So let's move to the next important resume. Now I'm looking for some fresher actually, because I have taken so many interns and the initial beginners. Let's see some experienced person. Shobha Kumari. This is not looking good. This is too much information. Not at all looking good. Again, try to just write LinkedIn, GitHub. No need to write like this. Complete URL, right? In the one line itself, you will be able to, write completely everything just by slash. So here, if you will be able to observe, your this part is fine, this is fine, this is not required, LinkedIn is fine, GitHub is fine, and portfolio is fine. This needs to be again reduced a bit. This is too much which you have mentioned. Try to reduce your lines, number of words as much as you can, so that if a person will read that, he or she will be able to get important information out from your resume. Education is good. If you have a good CGPA, do mention that part as well. After that, you have talked about your projects. I believe again you are not a experienced person, so maybe try to uh, create your resume within one page if possible. You can avoid the certifications thing. Technical skills are there, and you can try to reduce the projects. If you feel there is some project which is a baby project, right, you can reduce that. For example, practice hackathon projects, maybe you can try to remove that. Just focus on the initial three, and technical skills will move up. One page resume for a fresher is more than enough. If you're very highly experienced, then you can go for 2 pages. Otherwise, one page is, appropriately fine for the people like you, whom they don't have too much experience, right? The way you have mentioned the points, this is a good thing. But again, if you will be able to see, build a model to predict which party a voter will vote, create an exit poll that will help in predicting overall win in. This is not looking a great line, right? Skills and tools covered is good, but the way you have this, again, what I have mentioned few minutes back, try to use actionable words whenever you are trying to explain your uh, projects in the bullet points. So that is something which you have to make sure. Otherwise, things are looking good. Template is fine. Make it one page, reduce this portion, try to improvise this part by using the actionable words. If possible, make it 2 to 3, that will work for you. And technical skills will automatically move up. This is optional. If space permits to you, then do that. Otherwise, let it go. Okay. Hmm. Let's go for something professional. I'm looking for some professional. If there is anyone who is watching me live and they have shared the resume and is having some good experience, please do let me know. I will uh, take your resume. You should have a good professional experience, because until so far, this is a professional experience, right? Aayush Mishra. Let's see his resume now. First of all, template looks good to me. The overall picture of this template is very, very good. It's attractive again. Data analyst, Aayush Mishra. Contact number, please change the LinkedIn URL, customize first of all. This again doesn't looks good. And rather than mentioning this complete URL, the way you have mentioned GitHub, try to mention LinkedIn. Okay. Reduce a bit. Again, it's a 4 lines of profile itself you explain. Try to reduce a bit. Skill set section is very good. This way also you can define. If you are not using some headline of tools and all those stuff, this is also a very clear and good way to write your skill set. Looking good. After that, professional experience, not that much highly experienced. He just is doing currently optimized database performance, developed and maintain automated dashboards, assisted in the development of predictive models. Again, the thing which is missing is that what kind of impact you have made in your organization, right? Like you have mentioned, you have optimized this, but if you will be able to give clarity that how much you will be able to optimize a database performance in terms of some numbers, that would be great. Right? Similarly, assisted in data cleaning and pre-processing to ensure accuracy and integrity. But Again, doesn't give the clarity what data cleansing you're talking about. So try to reduce the points a bit. There is no need to mention that many points, but the important thing is whatever point you're mentioning, that will give a very good clarity of what work you have done. Okay. After that, analyze and this data to develop insights. Again, here also there is no numbers which you have mentioned. If you can mention that, that would give a different kind of impact. The good thing is that you have again used actionable keywords. That is good. Play Store app reviews analysis, that is good, but in the very first part itself, you have mentioned about your uh, tools which you have used. It would be great if you can mention this at the very lower point, very last point. First of all, talk about your project. Secondly, talk about what things you have done in order to implement that project. Third thing, talk about your tools. Same way. Good thing is you have mentioned the link. That is a good way to show everything. Okay, you have mentioned the collab file link. Okay, that is good. That is fine. And then you have mentioned about your education, bachelor's of commerce, data science certificate. Yeah, overall it is good. Again, more than 5, less than 7. It's an average kind of a thing. There's a need to improvise on the points which I have mentioned in this resume. Looking for a more experienced person's resume. Heidi, I used 7 months ago your resume and got selected everywhere. Uh, very congratulations, Mirchi. So yeah, my template which I have shown you few months ago, that got shortlisted in almost all the companies. So I have also shortlisted in all the companies, whether it be Google, because I have also used a similar resume, similar template, and that was done via Overleaf. So I used Overleaf in order to create my templates. So you can just go and check out those videos. That will be really helpful. And even the feedbacks which I have shared you all today, that is not only for those person which whose resume I'm picking up. Please make sure whatever points I have mentioned in the entire last 1 hour, just have to make sure that these points you will also implement in your own resume also. Let's look into his resume. Shalendra Sen, enthusiastic about data analysis. I possess robust analytical skills, solid statistical background. See, again, mentioning this I is something which you can avoid, right? And it can be more impressive. Either you guys can avoid writing this summary, and if you're writing, it should be very impressive and within very few lines of sentences which you're mentioning, very few words which represents your personality. Until so far I didn't get any one summary which is very impressive and I can say okay, this is the one which is I'm looking for. One template I found very impressive, that was the Meet template I already have mentioned. Maybe you can check his template again, maybe by rewatching the video. That was impressive one. But until so far, apart from that, nothing as such impressed me so far. Again, not a good way to write this. See the color of your uh, email ID and the background color. If you will be able to see, even the viewers also will not able to uh, recognize what is your email ID. Will you guys able to understand his email ID, Shailendra's email ID? It's so much struggle. Do you think HR will struggle this much to find your email ID and then write to a mail that okay, you are shortlisted or not? So try to use the colors in a way that you will be able to get an idea that everyone is very easily able to understand your mail ID. Then you have mentioned your work experience. That is fine. Shalendra Sen, your spelling should be capital, right? You are hyperlinking. Oh, even in your LinkedIn ID, why you have mentioned like this? S and S should be capital, right? Just like the way you have mentioned in your resume headline. Even the good way is to mention LinkedIn and GitHub rather than mentioning your name or username of GitHub. Again, further, let's go to the work experience part. Creating visually appealing charts and graphs, insights for stakeholders to communicate complex data effectively. No, this is not how the things will be written. Creating, आप अभी create कर रहे हो क्या? You are creating currently. You should mention what actually, result you have shown to that stakeholder. What is the impact you have made rather than saying creating visually appealing charts. Projects target versus actual business performance dashboard. Develop, design, implemented forecasting models. Leverage this to provide actionable recommendations for enhancing user experience. This is fine. This is fine. The good thing is that you have mentioned everything in your bullet points. And I think you have also attached a link to go there. Okay, there is a flow of whatever things you have done. This is good. The only thing is, for example, here you have mentioned a shareable link. But again, I have to look upon it to see that, okay, there is some hyperlink which is attached to see the things. You have to work upon the colors which you are using here. Do either change the template. If the template show this kind of a background and colors only, change it, because this thing might be people will notice, might be people will not notice. This color functioning you have to do somehow. This project way of writing is good, the way you have written down. If you can mention more about the numbers part, it would be great. Remaining things are good. Tech stack you have mentioned. Achievements, again, you have given the certification for that as well. This is good. So you have, it is good that if you will provide the proof of each and everything, whatever you're mentioning in your resume, that is a good thing. Relevant coursework, and then education, and then interest. There is a lot of gap between traveling and puzzle solving. Please avoid that. Either remove the puzzle solving completely, or just make it very good. This lot of white space between traveling and puzzle solving is not looking good. Okay, I hope it is clear to Shalendra if he's watching me live. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Great. Let's move to some other resume. Okay. I think he is a experienced person. So I was looking for some experienced person profile, and I think he's a very experienced person. Let's see some profiles of this Sunil, which is highly experienced, I believe. Nitish, don't worry. I think you're getting the feedback, and from that feedback, also you can work upon your resume, right? So, here, if you will be able to observe, this is the name, this is the position, okay? Again, this is not a good way. This is not at all a good way. See, this, I don't understand this, why you guys are not customizing the URL. This number is not looking great at all. If you really want to completely mention your LinkedIn URL also, please make it bit interactive, not like this number. Then again, there is a lot of need to reduce this part. This is good. This is good. After that, software engineer. Now here you can see one thing which you can observe here. Um, the way he has mentioned the things: designed, developed, implemented, optimized, maintained. This is a good way. Started with some actionable words rather than saying, I am implementing RESTful API or I am optimizing database queries. This is something which I was, saying to you all, that Your starting should be great with some actionable words. Again, this is also a good thing. If possible, you need to again think it very mindfully that which points you can reduce. I think there is a lot many things which you have mentioned here. If possible, like for example, actively participated in this process, agile development process, including sprint planning, daily stand-ups, and sprint review. I don't think it will be much of helpful in these complete points. Whatever task in terms of tech stack which you have done makes sense, right? This is good. Perform this, execute all test cases, participate in an agile development process. This is good. This is too much information. This is also too much. If you can make it within four, 3 to 4 points, I think that would be a good way, and that will also decrease down your length of resume. If it can be one page, why not, right? Then education you have mentioned. I think only top two, if you will write it down, that does also work very well. No specific need to write the below things. This is also fine. Oops, what happened? This is also fine. So remaining things are fine. I think whatever feedback I feel is important, I already have given. Again, no need to mention the location. If you want, you can, but nothing to add upon here. Okay. Let's see Nitish Kumar resume also. He's waiting from 1 hour. Okay. First look looks good. Okay. He has given the lead code profile also. Okay, you have attached on lead code your GitHub link only. What is there in GitHub? So there is no need to mention separately lead code, right? If you have already attached your GitHub link. And even the lead code profile link and how many number of questions you have solved doesn't make much sense. There is no need to write in your resume. So you can completely avoid writing this part. BTech 12th, until 12th it is fine. Functional areas, technical skills. I think there is no need to write functional areas separately. I think in technical skills, you must have covered up that you have an idea about visualization, analysis, cleaning, and modeling, reporting, and dashboarding. So there is no as such need which is required for technical skills, sorry, functional areas per se. After that, if I'll go to your projects part, the good thing is that he has again attached a functional Power BI live dashboard and a GitHub link for the projects. This is a great thing. The way to write a project is also good overall in the form of points, and that too he has not mentioned a very bigger sentences which was we were looking into the previous resumes. It is up to the mark. The only thing is which you have to work upon. I cannot see any exact numbers. If you have in few projects, do write that part, right? And second important thing is remove this thing, not required. Third important thing, this is not required. Fourth important thing, this is not required. So there are few things I think which you're supposed to remove. Remaining thing, overall look wise, one page resume, project wise, everything looks good to me. This double quotes, what is this? Not required, right? Oops. Yeah, it's good. Overall, it's good. I think whatever feedback I want to share, I have shared, right? Um, yes, ma'am, I have noted all the points that you have mentioned. Thank you for your time and feedback. Thank you so much. It's completely fine, Shalendra. I hope that these feedback, whatever I have shared you guys today, it would be really, really helpful for you all. And very soon you guys also give me the similar kind of a news, which today one student, I think Mirchi, have shared to me that she got selected with the resume part. After this live, please work upon your resume. Oh, I have 8 years of experience. Let's see his resume. Oh, this the template is not good. First of all, please work upon your template part. No need to write your, this is what I was talking about, right? People usually mention their exact addresses. What HR will do you with your address in your resume? No need. Please avoid this kind of a thing. Mention your LinkedIn ID, mention your GitHub profile if you have a great one. If it is empty, don't mention that. If it is a good one, have some projects which is looking good, some open source contribution if you have done, then do try to attach that as well. Summary, please reduce a bit. Then, because the template is not good, that's why it is taking a lot of white spaces, which is not at all looking good at all, right? The way to write the skill set is, I have already defined. The better way is, rather than looking into this complete paragraph, mention the key terms, technical skills, and then inside that the subheadings, the way previous students have mentioned, right? After that, education is fine. Research experience you have, that is really super awesome. um, this is good. Professional experience, see, you have mentioned a lot about this. Might be you have done a lot of work also, but the good thing is, when you are trying to prepare a good presentation, I remember my guide told me when I was pursuing my masters that a good presentation is the presentation where you will be having a limited words, but the pictures and that word is saying a lot of things. Means for one PPT you are spending explaining maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but the content is very limited. This is what you have to do in your resume as well. Content should be limited, but the words which you are mentioning will be something which is very fruitful, right? Similarly, you have to optimize below parts. Your complete CV resume is very big. No one is having this much amount of time to read the resume. You have a research publication, that is good, but I think this is not a good way to mention the research publication. In my this second video, if you will go, you will be able to see I also have research publications. I have mentioned that how basically what's the apt way to mention the publications. This is not the correct way. Please check it out, and then accordingly please uh, optimize this the particular thing as well. Certifications are fine. Specialized skills, again you have mentioned, try to create only one heading. Technical skills, inside that try to write these stuffs, everything. Don't create further headings. Firstly, you have mentioned specialized skills. In the initial part you have mentioned key skills. Take only one technical skills and try to write everything there. Other interest, that is fine. That is fine. First of all, I think you need to change the template itself. It is not looking really nice. It is not looking good. And then on top of this, try to work upon whatever things just now I have shared. Okay, again, I am getting a lot many resumes. So I think it's been 1 hour 13 minutes. I have taken a lot many resumes. There might be, not might be, there are lot many resumes which are still left to work upon and take the feedback. But I think until so far, you guys get an idea that how basically what things you need to work upon. There are few points which I'm repeatedly saying for all the resumes. One thing, writing your projects in terms of bullet points. 3 bullet points, what they're indicating, I have talked about. Second thing, key skills, technical skills, skill set. Don't try to make a separate heading. Please do try to write it in the sub points. One technical skill, inside that try to write it down, further subheadings, right? Summary, if you're writing, make it very optimized. Otherwise, try to avoid that. If possible, try to make a 1 page resume. There is no need to create 2 to 3 page resume. If you have too much content to mention, very highly experienced person, at max 2 page, not more than that. No one is having a time to check upon your 4 page, 5 page resume. Just now we have seen, right? Some people have made this much big also. Try to choose your template wisely. If possible, you can look upon my initial videos where I have talked about Overleaf. Great platform. Till now, I am using that platform only to create my resumes. How I am creating that? For that, you need to refer my previous videos in the playlist. Do check it out. You will be able to get an idea. I think there are not many people who are still left to review their resume. I'll again come back. Second part we will do, part number 2 for the same live. Similar timing, 10 p.m. only we will do. Very soon. I'm not sure on which date I'll again come back, but I'll let you know on the prior basis. Please stay tuned with me in the WhatsApp channel invite link, which I have shared in the chat window. Apart from this, do connect with me on LinkedIn also. I'll do all the announcements on that particular LinkedIn part itself. Also, please subscribe to my channel so that you automatically will be able to get a notification that okay, she's taking the live today as well with respect to that. I already have got so many resumes. If still anyone who wants to share his or her resume, please do share, and then again we will do this. But the only thing is I really want maximum likes in this video, maximum shares, comments also, what things you have learned out from this complete video, right? And then maybe I'll try to come up again. मैम यू डोंट नो हिंदी, मुझे इंग्लिश नहीं आता, क्वेश्चन कैसे पूछें? अभी इंग्लिश नहीं आता है तो इंग्लिश सीखो, बिकॉज अगर आप जब कंपनीज में जाओगे, इंटरव्यूज दोगे, तो आपको इंग्लिश में देना पड़ेगा. आप हिंदी में नहीं दे सकते. मुझे हिंदी आता है, इंग्लिश भी आता है, हिंदी भी आता है, 2 ही लैंग्वेज आती है अभी तो मुझे. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं आता है, बट अभी जो ऑडियंस मेरे पास आती है उसमें बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे भी हैं जिनको सिर्फ इंग्लिश आता है या फिर उनका खुद का लैंग्वेज आता है, हिंदी नहीं आता है. हिंदी तो हमारे इंडिया का लैंग्वेज है ना. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई यूज्ड टू स्पीक इन इंग्लिश. बट मेक श्योर कि जब सुनोगे, इंग्लिश मूवीज देखो, नॉवेल्स पढ़ो, तो आपकी इंग्लिश थोड़ी इम्प्रोवाइज होगी. ये ज़रूरी है क्योंकि अगर आपका टारगेट किसी भी कंपनी को क्रैक करना है तो वहाँ पे इंटरव्यूज आपको इंग्लिश में देने पड़ेंगे. अगर आप बोलोगे इंग्लिश नहीं आता तो नहीं चलेगा ऐसे. ठीक है, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अपनी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स पे भी उतना ही ध्यान देना है जितना अपना रेज्यूमे प्रिपेयर करने में या टेक्निकल स्किल्स पे देना है. अदरवाइज अगेन यू विल लेफ्ट बिहाइंड. बहुत लोगों को मैंने देखा है जिनके पास बहुत अच्छी टेक्निकल स्किल्स है, बट स्टिल वो अच्छी कंपनीज क्रैक नहीं कर पा रहे क्योंकि उनका कम्युनिकेशन स्किल स्ट्रांग नहीं है, वो इतना फ्लुएंटली इंग्लिश नहीं बोल पाते. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट अपार्ट फ्रॉम मेकिंग अ गुड रिज्यूमे. ठीक है, आई थिंक अभी के लिए रैप अप करते हैं. इट्स वेरी लेट. आई विल ट्राई टू अगेन कम अप लाइव. आई होप दैट दिस सेशन इज वेरी वेरी इंसाइटफुल फॉर यू ऑल. एंड कुछ लोग बोल रहे हैं कैन यू प्लीज एक्सप्लेन द टॉपिक ऑफ द सेशन. आई थिंक दीज पीपल हैव ज्वाइन लेट. तो मैं फिर से बता देती हूँ कि ये वाली वीडियो रिकॉर्डेड अवेलेबल होगी रिज्यूमे वाली प्लेलिस्ट के अंदर. लेट मी शो यू अगेन. तो अगर किसी भी स्टूडेंट ने ये वीडियो मिस कर दिया है तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, आपको यहाँ जाना है मेरे चैनल के ऊपर और यहाँ पे प्लेलिस्ट में जाओगे तो यू विल बी एबल टू सी दिस क्रिएटिंग इम्पैक्टफुल रिज्यूमे वाली प्लेलिस्ट. गो इनसाइड दिस, you will be able to see the today's session live resume review Priya Bhatia 10 p.m. IST. So this is the overall thing which you need to check it out and you will be able to get the complete idea behind this tutorial video, right? Okay then, bye bye everyone, good night and see ya. I'll see you all very soon in the upcoming videos. Bye bye, good night.